The Mind Buzz, now partnered with My Grito Industries.
3, 2, 1. Maria Sanchez.
Yes. What's up?
How are you?
Right.
I'm good. I'm doing good. It's a lovely Monday night out in Chino Hills.
Thanks for coming out and doing the podcast. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all having me.
I've been a fan for a very long time.
How long?
Since September
He's like last
of 2022.
It literally was last year.
Yeah.
That's when we started performing. That's why. Makes sense.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Like at the beginning of summer of 2020, or when did you
Yeah, it was
start
towards
performing
the end.
with them?
The Goldfish, which is a show I believe you came
Yes.
and watched us, was actually our first show ever.
No effing way, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about that. Like,
What?
I always have that conversation with my guitarist Esteban, where it's like, dude, like, can you believe it? Like, we were rehearsing for like 2-3 months, and then we just started like doing shows.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, pretty
I
exciting.
mean, going to that first show, it seemed like you guys have been playing for like months.
Thank
Like
you.
even performing months.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I will say I feel like some of our bandmates were pretty experienced already, so that helped. And then I love talking to people. I'm like big on public speaking, so it came naturally.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Even that bit with Jazz giving out, or Jasmine giving out roses, that was cool. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And free roses is awesome.
Yeah, I think that's become like our favorite part of our set list. To be
Yeah.
able to like, give back to our listeners who come and take the time to spend the night with us, basically. Enjoy
Mind
music.
blown. I didn't know that was your first. Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. Well, you did, really. This is the first time I'm hearing this.
No, yeah, I don't think we've really talked about that. I think folks have just assumed that we've been, doing shows for a while, because you always get those messages. There's like, when's your next show? And I'm like, you mean our first show? Like,
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome. So how did you get into singing and songwriting and all that good stuff?
I mean, I always grew up around music. I'm the youngest of like 6 or 7 siblings. I can't even keep count anymore. But just growing up around that music, I've always been inspired to sing and just, tap into different genres. But it wasn't until I want to say maybe like 2016 when I started at UCLA that I really thought about like, creating an Instagram and putting out covers and stuff like that. But I didn't officially start getting serious until like maybe 2019, 2020, because that's when I started working on original music with the first label that I worked with.
How nerve-wracking was it to put up your first like cover on Instagram in like 2016?
It's funny because I don't even remember.
Really?
No. I'm sure it was kind of like nerve-wracking about thinking like, what will people think about this? Like, will they like it? But then not so much, because I recorded it in the comfort of my home, of course. So, I mean, that was good. Like I could take multiple takes if I needed, but I think the response was good, though. I started mostly with R&B, though. R&B covers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like what?
Probably like some Alicia Keys, Music Soul Child. Yeah.
Gotcha. I know who Alicia Keys is. Do you, Amber?
Of course.
Okay.
I hope so.
I gotta check on you.
I'm under a rock here.
I gotta check on you.
I'm here.
Okay.
She's tuned in.
Yeah.
I'm listening. I'm learning.
No, that's awesome. And so you did that for about 3 years, and then you jumped into your original music. What was the push that pushed you into writing originals?
Well, I had already started like even as a kid, I had like a songbook, and I would just be writing. I think I still have them in storage somewhere, but I've always been into like just kind of speaking my mind, like what's coming to me naturally, And I think that's even how I developed the way that I write songs, because I freestyle and then I put it together in the structure.
What comes first? Is it lyrics or is it the music that you hear in your head?
So I go based off like the music.
Oh,
So
okay.
if someone sends me like an instrumental,
Right.
I'll take one listen through. Sometimes it just really speaks to me, and I'll just literally start flowing as I'm listening
Really?
for the first time. But then, yeah, I take time to just kind of listen, like record an audio as I'm kind of speaking out or singing out, I should say.
That happened with that song that you guys submitted to the NPR Tiny Desk.
Every single song I write,
Really?
honestly. Yeah, that's just like the way that I write.
Mm-hmm.
I can't write lyrics and then listen to music and put it together.
What was the name of the song that you guys submitted to them?
Quédate conmigo. Yeah.
Say that one more time.
Quédate conmigo.
Quédate conmigo.
Yeah. Conmigo.
Stay with me.
Stay with me. Okay.
For our bilingual queens and kings.
Right. Amber's yeah. I'm a uno lingo person.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm learning though. Okay.
Is your family, do you come from a family of like musically inclined people, or is it just solely you?
Yeah, it's a great question. So my biological mom, who passed away when I was around 8, actually sang mariachi. So I'm pretty sure that's where I get it from. I always tell my siblings, or it's been a minute, but one of my brothers, I feel like he can sing, but he doesn't try. So Abraham, if you ever watch this, I feel like he has the vocals, but he doesn't really try. So, and then my sister Stephanie, maybe a little bit. She don't get hyped up and she'll be like, "Ooh, I'm gonna start singing now." Yeah,
That's awesome. But back to that song, because I love that song. So Esteban co-wrote that, or how did that dynamic work out?
yeah. So with all the newer songs, and specifically "Quédate Conmigo," he writes the music by starting it off with guitar, because that's what the instrument that he plays. Then he sends me like an audio file of the guitar, and then I just write the lyrics to it. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
that's how it's co-written.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where do you find your inspiration to writing lyrics?
Life.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I mentioned like I'm just such a social person, and I feel like I have a lot of close friends who confide in me, and just hearing their experiences with relationships, with life, and also just visually seeing it, amongst my friends and just community. I feel like you can get inspired through anything. Just in this conversation, I'm sure it could spark up something, But yeah, just the space and the community that I'm with just kind of sparks those ideas.
Absolutely. Yeah, creativity and ideas are very fluid. They come in and out. Inspiration is very fluid as well, because it can change from time to time. Whatever is inspiring you today maybe not inspire you tomorrow or the next couple days.
Yeah, we're constantly evolving as people. Literally every single day, it's like you're almost not exactly a new person, but you might have a new perspective on something.
Yeah. Like Amber, you had this, you remember we were talking about this concept of you are every single age you have ever been, like in your mind. Isn't that wild? Isn't that a crazy concept?
Say it one more time so they can hear.
You are, I'm going to mess this up. You are every age that you have ever been.
Yeah. So the concept behind it is like every age that you've been. So like for myself, I'm 32.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 32 years within me, and I'm every single person that I was in those 32 years. So I have 5-year-old me, I have 10-year-old me, I have 15-year-old me, all embodied in myself. So
Yes,
we continue to evolve, but we still stay true to who we were. And I think a lot of things that are like that Gill and I, that conversation that we had was honoring younger us, or past us
definitely
was honoring that and saying, would past us be proud of who we've become and what we're doing. And
I'm doing it for the little Gill.
yeah.
Yes, snap, snap.
So that's where that came from. But yeah.
Yeah, Amber's doing it for the little Amber.
No, that's a beautiful concept, and I don't think we stop to think about things like that very often. It's like we just want to be constantly on the move. What's next? What's next?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, it's good to just sit down and, think about that.
Yeah, I'm really big
Pondering on that.
on really valuing and celebrating your small accomplishments. I feel like we don't do that again so often because of I think the environment we're in. Sometimes it's so competitive. It's like, all right, what's the next best thing, you know? So,
But I even think that like even what's what I want to say? Like even valuing, you know, the accomplishments or saying like, damn, we did that and congratulations to ourselves. I think it's embedded in us that if you do that, it's like being vain. You know what I mean? It's like oh, don't, you know, you're vain. You're being conceited or whatever. So you try not to, and you're like, no, I'm centered. I'm this, I'm that. And you keep going on. But I mean, reality is that sometimes we do have to celebrate ourselves and we have to celebrate our accomplishments and what we have done. And it's hard sometimes.
yeah, even if it's just to yourself. I think that, I mean, that's honestly how it should be. Like, you know, other folks' opinion on or perspective on how big or how small that accomplishment was for you shouldn't even matter. So,
Yeah. But I think with like social media has, I don't want to say perverted that, but kind of, you know, changed that in a way because we're always seeking validation. And there's something in the likes and comments that happens to our like brains.
I'm pretty sure there's
Right?
studies that, confirm that. It's like just seeing it, you're like, oh my gosh, let me refresh. Let me refresh.
In some countries, TikTok, I think there's like an age limit for TikTok, right? Can we look that up, Amber? I want to see. I think it was like Japan. Oh, by the way, we can Google stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. On air.
Love it.
So.
But how do you, well, I Google it, but kind of piggybacking on this conversation is like, how do you, as an artist, how do you not let that get to you, right? What's your drive? Is it, you know, having a social media presence, or is it just strictly doing music, or somewhere in between?
Well, me personally, and I feel like anyone who really knows me knows this, I will never see myself in competition with anyone because my mindset is I'm doing this because I want to do this and I have a passion for doing this. So I also really don't like when people compare me to like other artists because while it could be a compliment, you know, that's what their intention is. Sometimes it's like, oh, you're trying to say like they're better or I'm better. And I just don't like that because we all have different styles. We all have different means of creativity, you know? So for me, I just focus on the music. I focus on who I'm interacting with because I really, really like to interact with my listeners because I don't see them as fans. I see them as like listeners and some of them who become friends, you know, like Gill and Amber. And so I really appreciate that they take the time to, you know, search up a song on YouTube or anything like that. But yeah.
I like that. I like that answer a lot.
Thank you. It says countries that have social media.
Age limits.
Me without my glasses.
So it seems like there are quite a few.
A majority of social media companies currently have an age requirement of 13 years old, but several officials, including the U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy, have warned that age 13 and younger is too early for American kids to be using social media platforms.
I don't know why, but I thought it was like 15 or 16 for some reason.
Yeah.
I guess they think 13. Oh, right here it is. Age restrictions on social networks. Some countries have opted for 13, others for ages 14, 15, or 16.
And I think that's based on the studies about how our brains continue to develop until we're like 25 or something.
Yeah.
That's insane.
We were talking about something similar to that about like I think it was like marijuana use or something, or even like drinking, moving the drinking age to like 25 or something like that, just because of that concept.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all seen recently. I feel like I'm sure you did about that recent video of this woman who obviously was drunk and she ended up killing 2 individuals.
Oh, I just saw it today.
Yeah,
Really?
that was like mind blowing.
They were crossing the street, right?
From a bar or something like that. But it was just the way that she was reacting when the officer was telling her, like, you understand that you just killed 2 people, and you're asking about if you're gonna get your car in the morning to go to school.
Whoa.
Yeah, check that out. I mean, it's just it's really eye opening. I think that's like how we should see it. Like, it's sad that it had to happen, I think, to spark a conversation like that and make potential change in laws like that. But yeah, really sad.
Dang. So this was she was how old?
I don't know.
She was like in her early 20s or something like that?
She looks young, but not like super young.
Yeah.
What?
Maybe late 20s, I would say.
Really?
She looks like, yeah.
That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I saw that today. But I'm like,
Yeah.
Mama, next topic.
I know, we're like, let's
Thanks, Maria, for
Hey,
tuning me on to that.
we're just speaking the truth here.
Yeah, no, of
Spreading
course.
awareness. Yeah.
Of course.
Drink responsibly, please.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I mean, a Lyft ride is only like, what, $13 maybe? I don't know. Hey, if you need a Lyft, just text me. Everybody has my number, okay?
Oh, no, they're gonna all start texting you even when they're not drinking. They're like, hey, you remember that one time?
Amber's gonna see the Lyft bill or something. She's like, well, $2,000. What's going on? What happened this weekend? I got a lot of friends. They like to have fun. We got to keep them safe.
That we do.
Yeah. But so aside from that, you went to, help me out. You went to what college? Because I know you went to a pretty
UCLA, right? You said?
Yeah, I went to UCLA for my undergrad, and I graduated in 2019. And then last year, June of 2022.
Congratulations, by the way. That's cool.
I graduated from USC with the Master's of Education in Educational Counseling.
Whoa.
Awesome.
So what does that entail?
Yeah, so I'll kind of talk about like what I currently do.
Okay.
So I oversee.
Besides Maria Sanchez being in a badass band, she's also fucking very smart.
I love education. I'm a higher ed advocate. That's what it is. Because everyone can be smart. We don't have to be book smart to be smart. So
Okay.
just a reminder.
There you go.
But I currently oversee one of the majors at UCLA, and I won't speak too much on it because, invasion of privacy a little. Yeah. But I work one-on-one with students, faculty, to ensure that our students are successfully graduating from UCLA with this specific major within their degree timeframe. So we have transfer students, we have, incoming freshmen. So just kind of being that day-to-day support for them when it comes to like enrollment, personal life experiences that maybe get in the way of being able to continue their education. So I wear many roles or hats in that position. But my ultimate goal is to eventually work like at a resource center, preferably at UCLA because I've been there for so long, to really support our first gen students because I myself was a first generation student. I was a former foster youth. So it's just so many, I would say, identities that come into play into why I work in education and the community that I want to work with.
Of course.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. And how do you think, like, how do you juggle everything from your education to your work to creating music to performing? Like, when do you sleep?
Yeah, I mean, I'm young, so thankfully I got the energy. But it was a little difficult during the time that I was doing my master's in the last 2 years. I really don't know how I did it, but I found a way because music is a passion. It's a creative outlet for me to not think about, personal life sometimes because we all go through stuff on a day-to-day basis. We lose loved ones and, that really impacts us. So I don't view music as a job. So I think that's why it was easy to juggle everything. Because, during my master's program, I was working, I was going to school, and then I was doing band stuff. Or starting band stuff.
If it's not music, what would be your creative outlet?
That's a toughie. It's between two things. Either photography, because I also like tapping into that a little, or writing. Yeah.
Okay. Any type of writing? Like just maybe comic books? Wait, we don't know. Writing comic books, writing a script. Comedy writing, prose.
Or I guess more like writing in the concept of education. Or, I mean, that would be the other thing. If I devoted like full time to education, that would probably be the other thing in starting, or not starting, but maybe being part of like a nonprofit. Because an ultimate goal is to start a nonprofit. But that's a long-term vision. That's like, hopefully, our music will pop off soon and that can fund that. But it does take time, so, yeah.
Wow.
I'm sure it will.
Yes.
So for some of our listeners, I always like to ask this question, but what would you describe like your band and your voice and your music? Like, because obviously we know what it is, right? But our listeners that maybe are tapping in, listening to you for the first time, how would you describe that?
Yeah, so I think we're a really good mix of soul and funk, majority. But I do pull from different genres, and I think we see that in music, every single day. But I think soul and funk, and I try to bring like a nostalgic feel. Like, I don't know how I would explain it, but maybe the dreamy sound in some parts of the songs. But then we also have like some upbeat songs that kind of get you moving and grooving. So just feeling like you could be present in that moment with us and not think about like what's going on at home. So kind of putting you into my little world, so we can experience that together.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about her music.
I know. I was like,
I am. No, I'm digesting everything that you just said because
I talk a lot sometimes.
No, that's fine. You are going to be in the next couple of days on Friday. You're going to be doing a set at the LA County Fair in Pomona on opening day. When I seen that, I got super excited. That's pretty cool. How did that happen?
Yeah, huge shout out to Angela from Hello Stranger. She reached out and she mentioned that, she's been following what we're doing and that she loved it.
Oh, nice.
And so she wanted to get us connected with Next Fest, which is one of the indie music festivals within LA County Fair that host these emerging artists, that maybe aren't signed to like big labels or anything like that. So a little bit more independent. And this is only their second year doing this. So this is really awesome.
They did it last year too?
I think it was last year or maybe. Okay. Yeah, no, it was last year, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so, we're doing opening day, so Cinco de Mayo. We're super excited. 6 p.m. we'll be on the band rocking.
That is crazy how your first your first gig in September in 2022 and then playing to a huge audience, because they opening day is probably like one aside from the last day of the fair is pretty like marginally like huge in attendance.
Yeah, I think they mentioned it's the expected like size is like 60,000 people. Of course, not all at once,
right,
within the day, but that's a lot.
That's still a lot.
Yeah. So we're definitely grateful for the opportunity and we're excited. No nerves.
Well, so with the nerves thing, because I was going to ask you about like how did you feel like first going up on stage and performing your original music? How did that feel?
I was a little nervous that day.
You didn't seem nervous.
A lot of people told me that.
You didn't.
Maybe I just do a really good job of hiding it.
And she did do a really good job of hiding it, ladies and gentlemen.
I think for me, the nerves was mostly because my parents were there.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. So huge shout out to my moms and pops, David and Oti. And just, I had my siblings there too. My sister, did I have my brother, one of my brothers too. And I think that was more nerve-wracking. I mean, they're always supportive. My dad's like probably my number one fan. Sorry, y'all. But I think that was more nerve-wracking just because prior to that show, I mean, I've done backups for other artists, specifically Adrian Carmine, who's also on the same label. So I don't think I was nervous about that at all. Because I also actually did backups for him that night too.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. So how did you like get into music? Like, how do you remember the time where it was like, you know what? I'm just going to fucking write music and I'm going to perform it. Because that's a huge step.
Yeah.
Like just building up the courage to say, you know what, screw it. I'm going to write something. I'm going to perform it. I'm going to practice it. And I'm going to do that. Do you walk me through that?
Yeah.
How that happened?
I'll start with how the first 45, My Debut 45 happened. So in 2020, I believe it was, I had a friend who reached out to me via Instagram. His name's Alejandro. And he was like, hey, like Big Crown Records is hosting this contest. You should enter. And huge shout out to Big Crown Records. They're a dope label. You should check them out. They have amazing artists like Lady Ray, Brain Story. But I was like, yeah, like sick. Like at that time, I had already started my Groovy MS page and it was all covers. And so I entered super, super last minute. Like I almost didn't even enter. I think it was like right before midnight when the deadline was going to close. And my video is still out there on YouTube and stuff. But I ended up winning 3rd place for that contest. And the label, Soulful Records from Sweden, reached out and they're like, hey, like we love your video. Like we thought you should have been higher in ranking, but like, would you want to work together? So that's how that kind of sparked. Wow. Really cool experience. I was a little hesitant because, of course, I had never, worked with anyone like that or even, not written original music because I had written like one song. But the process of that was like they sent me an instrumental and then I wrote the lyrics to it and then I recorded it, sent it back, and they did the mixing and mastering. So we did 2 songs, so Dynamite and Sensation. Dynamite till this day is probably the most poppin' song that I have so far, that most people really enjoy because it's upbeat. But yeah, that's kind of how it started. And then eventually we dropped the 2nd record like a year later with My Grito Industries and Soulful Records. And it wasn't until after the 2nd record that we actually sparked the conversation about like performing live because I wanted original work out. I didn't want to be doing covers all the time. And that personally is important to me. Of course, that could be different for other artists. And I'm not saying like folks who do that, like they don't know how to sing or write, like not at all. But for me, I really wanted original workout because if I'm doing a performance, I want my audience to be able to search for me and be like, oh, this is her music. Because then if I do a cover, they're like, oh yeah, we've heard that song, like cool. And then it's like, that's where it ends. You want to continue that engagement beyond just that one performance. So, yeah.
Dang. I didn't even know you can like have 2 record companies on one, song. That was interesting to see that.
Yeah. The logistics might be different for like other,
I
other
don't
releases. But the way we did it was maybe unique.
But that's cool.
Yeah.
That's unique because you have two certain groups of labels that found an interest in working with you, and that's cool.
Yeah, it was really special, and I'm glad that it worked out. I mean, both labels are phenomenal in the work that they do. A little bit different, of course, but I guess I'm the one that brings them together. No.
Yeah, well, you did. You did. Were you with My Grito when you did the Goldfish the first time, or not yet?
I think we had just announced that we were working.
Oh, you did?
A little bit before.
Okay, because I didn't really become fans until I went to that show. Once, like when I went to that show and I seen you and Adrian and with Bad Hombres too. So like that was the time that I was like, these group of people are fucking cool. They're amazing.
Thank you.
I can hang out with them. I can drink with them. I can rock out with them. That was also the first time that I actually seen, and I don't think I met him, but Ramon from Chicano Shuffle. I had a question. So did you take that picture of them? You did some photography work for them, right?
Yeah, I did a photo shoot for them. The pictures that they basically used to announce they were with the label.
So that was you.
Yeah.
They're awesome photos. Did you know that, Amber?
But the editing was not me.
Okay.
That was off Fernando. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fernie is a very creative fucker.
Shout out Fernie. Big shout out Fernie.
He is.
He does it all, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's awesome. They're all awesome. They all bring their own like twist, to to the podcast.
Yeah, the photo that is on their album artwork for the podcast, that's the picture, right? Have you seen their new one? They uploaded it. They updated it like a few weeks ago. It's the same picture.
Don't put me on blast. They're gonna be like,
it's the same picture.
Esteban is part of that podcast, and he's my guitarist. He's gonna yell at me. He's like, hold up. If it's the picture from when Magrito announced that they were working, yes,
I'm 100% sure. I think, but
I hope so.
right? We're both wrong. We're both in hot water with those guys. No, but that's cool. Yeah, I mean, the first time that I seen that group, I was just like, you know what, that's a cool group.
It's funny though, because Esteban and I had just coordinated working together before setting up that photo shoot. So when I did that photo shoot, it was the first time I met him. And then, like, I think a week or two later, we were supposed to start rehearsing. But unfortunately, that's when he got into an accident that same day, actually, which, he had to take some time off. So it kind of pushed back us starting rehearsing. But it was just so crazy, the timing of everything. Yeah.
How did all your band members come together? How do you pick and choose who you want, working with you? Or how did that come about?
Yeah, thank you for that, because I do want to give a shout out to my band because they're amazing. So the first person, of course, was Esteban, which I got connected through Mike Rito. Oscar and Rob were like, hey, he's a guitarist, like, check him out. I will never get tired of saying this, but Esteban went above and beyond and did a whole video of him doing my song Dynamite without me asking. And then I was like, yep, the job's his. So he joined. Second person was Robert on drums. And the funny thing about that one is that Esteban had done a Craigslist ad, like searching for a drummer. So that's how we got him. The third person added was Jazz, my soul sister. Funny thing is that she's the one who DM'd me. She says that was her first DM. And she had DM'd me like a year or two before us actually starting, and was just like, hey, I want to introduce myself. Like, I dig your sound. Like, if you ever need a backup vocalist, like, I'm here. And I told her, like, for sure. And, a year or two later, I reached out and I was like, hey, it's time. Like, do you want to join? And so she was our third addition. And then our fourth was Vinny, my bass man, who also plays with Adrian Carmine and Harry Cats and the Pistachios. So we had already performed before as well. And then the last addition was Jacob. So he's on keys. And I met him through a mutual friend, Lalo. And ever since then, we've all been connected. Yeah, it's been amazing. We see each other like family now. Yeah.
The Avengers assemble.
Also, huge shout out to that.
The Avengers.
No, you have, because you have to handpick these guys, right? I mean, because there's what goes into that when you're picking musicians to do your work for you, with you?
That's a really good question. So I am very blunt. I am very straightforward about how I work, how I am as a person, and I'm really, really big on communication. If something's not working out, like, let me know, and vice versa. I will let you know, respectfully, of course, but because I value my time as much as I value yours. And so we did go through a couple people for certain positions, I guess you could say, and it just didn't work out. But I think one of the
next on the chopping block with Maria Sanchez.
But I think one of the biggest things is, how do we vibe? Like, okay, do I feel like your energy's cool? Like, synergy, can we have a conversation, Okay. So that was really important for Esteban and I, because we were the from the beginning, that's how we started. Everyone made it past the round, and now they're locked in, But I think it was mostly just, how did you vibe with everyone? Was there going to be like issues, tension? So yeah.
Wow. Is this like the first group that you've worked with? Like, musically? I
would say officially, yes.
Yeah.
I did have two buddies that were initially going to be part of the band, and it just didn't work out. They had a lot going on, and I respected that. So they unfortunately just didn't get to be part of the journey, but they're still amazing folks, and they're still part of their own bands, and still pursuing music. So that's awesome, and they come and support too. So.
Yeah.
That's cool. What? So, your music being like you said, like funk and soul, and those things. I feel like, or at least I'm gonna speak for myself, but I've always been into that type of music. Right? My mom listens to. Both of my parents listen to a wide range of genres, but I've always been connected to that. And I remember my first time going into Tower Records, and I bought like a jazz album, right? And I remember the man being like, "Oh, is this for your grandma?" And I was like, "No," but I was 12, and it's not something that you see often. So I feel like for you, like singing this type of music and everything, and you're young, like, where did that come from? Where did that love of that type of music and that genre kind of stem from?
Yeah, thank you for that. I honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't have a pinpoint answer. I know I had like family who was super into like oldies, like they were part of the Bajitos Car Club and all that. So I'm not sure if that's where it came in, but I feel like I had a pretty rough upbringing that I just don't remember a lot of my childhood, unfortunately. So I can't like be like, yeah, like I remember as a kid, like this and this happened. It wasn't until like my teenage years that I start to remember that more. But I always say I feel like I'm a young person with an old soul. Like it just comes to me like naturally. Like I listen to it and I will listen to a song and within 3 seconds I will tell you like, all right, I kind of dig it, or I'm like next, like no. So I think also me just taking initiative to like listen to music on my own. Of course, my siblings listen to like their own music, and I got inspired through that. But I don't know if any of my siblings specifically like listen to like oldies and funk like how I do. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they embrace it as they're older now. But
yeah. Right. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah. Who's your most like singer or songwriter inspiration right now?
Right now.
Yeah. It's a tough one, I know. If you asked me the same thing, I'd probably say,
I don't know. Ask someone else.
I don't know. Ask Amber. Amber, answer all the questions for me.
I mean, I always talk about Erykah Badu. She's awesome.
Ooh, who's that?
You've never heard of Erykah?
You don't know Erykah Badu?
No.
Get out.
Kick me out.
No, she's
Amber, let's switch seats.
I'm all switch.
You know who it is. He just
Do I?
I'm sure if you sing, yeah.
What song does she sing? Can you hum it? Who is it? Pull up a picture, or what song?
I'm like, I feel like a popular one. You better call Tyrone.
Yeah.
Call. No?
Mm-mm.
He's like,
we're all trying to. Is it,
or On and On. Oh, it's with the wine.
Erykah Badu.
See, I don't know how to spell
Dang.
it. I know who she is, but I don't know how to spell it.
Next Lifetime is a beautiful song too. Yes.
But what would be one that's like, Tyrone. What's another one that
On and On is really
On
well
and
known.
On, probably,
Yeah.
right? All right, we're probably gonna get.
Or maybe not show it.
Got it.
Yeah.
No.
I learn something new every day.
Damn.
Okay.
It's okay.
No,
That's
this sounds cool.
That's your homework now.
No, yeah, I can vibe with this. I could turn off the lights,
She's like
put a candle on.
iconic.
Yeah, and she's
Yeah.
she's doing a tour.
Really?
Coming up with who is it? I can't remember the second person, but he's super well known as well. I was thinking about going to see her in downtown LA, but then prices.
Is it expensive?
A little bit. I think for like a good seat that I wanted, it was like 150 plus fees.
Oh.
So
Erykah
Baby
Badu's
daddy.
baby daddy.
that's funny.
All
So-
right.
Yeah, one of them's
I'll show
under
you later.
3,000.
Okay, show me later. Turn me on later with these. So Erykah Badu and who else?
So that's the more neo soul.
So this is something that's like fairly new. No?
She was probably like even like Badu is released in 1997.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, she's been in the
okay.
game for a minute. Super old school. I mean,
I
I always
see.
enjoy some Bretton Wood, of course. I'm trying to think if there's like a specific album too or something.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, that's cool.
He's like, I don't know. I'm confused. Oh my goodness.
It's
I'm surprised. I am surprised.
I mean,
Yeah?
Lauryn Hill too. I'm sure you know who Lauryn Hill is. Please
don't
tell
say
me.
yeah. I'm
Please tell
like,
me.
if not, it's over.
You're lying. There's no way.
No, he.
No,
knows.
I've heard her before,
You
but
know who this is.
specifically, I don't know. I feel like right now you guys are telling me like if I'm wearing a Tiger Army shirt today, right, ladies and gentlemen, and they're asking me name 3 songs from Tiger Army.
Lauryn Hill's from She Sang with.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
There you go.
Come on.
How you gonna say that?
Come on.
That wasn't your initial instinct.
Come on now.
Don't fake the funk.
I know what's up. I heard this before.
He's just trying to say like he knows.
I know. Okay.
Yeah, I think those 2 artists, and then Bretton Wood.
What about like in the Spanish realm? Do you listen
that's
to
that's
Spanish?
what I'm trying to like think of. I feel like there's a couple songs I really like of Linda Ronstadt.
Okay,
I believe that's how you pronounce her last name. She did a Spanish album, and it was all like a mariachi kind of style. And that's actually a future project that I want to do in remembrance of my biological mom, Amparo, and a select songs that just are so nostalgic and remind me of her. I want to release something like that in the future.
That's awesome.
That's perfect. I was gonna ask you about if it's not the same like genre of music that you're doing now. Do you see yourself doing any other type of genre?
Absolutely. So I want to make it clear that I do not want to put myself in a box for a certain genre. Especially like I don't want to say I'm a oldies like singer. I love it and I listen to it every day. But I know I can do so much more than just oldies. I do funk. I do R&B, you know. I don't rap, unfortunately. But I want to tap into every creative, you know, genre. I don't want to just be stuck to one specific sound.
Absolutely. Because that's how you grow, right? Like as a creative person, you know, stepping over the line or feeling uncomfortable in a certain situation to help you grow.
I mean, that's how you reach, you know, different communities, different listeners, and yeah. Do you speak Spanish, right? Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't say as fluent as I used to. Like I felt like I lost a lot of it because
Oh really?
Yeah.
That can happen?
Of course.
Yeah.
If you're not using it, it'll go. Bye.
If you're not losing or if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how language is? That's crazy. I didn't know that.
I mean, fortunately, like I can hold a conversation, I would say, like with family members, but to say like I'm a native Spanish, I would not say, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah. But I can speak
You can speak it
and read it.
read it
And understand
sing
it,
it
and sing it, yes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I know, I could read it, but I can't understand it. Some words I can understand.
You're getting there though. You've grown in the 4 years that we've been together.
There you go.
Definitely grown.
Yeah. I understand it very well, actually.
No, you don't.
He's like, a ver, háblame en español.
Sometimes he's like, what did you say? I'm like, ay.
That's like half of our like conversations with me and Amber every day is just like, what are you saying? Like, because she thinks in Spanish all day and she'll tell me something and I'm just like, Amber,
I forget.
what are you saying? I don't understand you.
No, but that's good. That's like that stimulates your mind to think, you know? Like,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that you ever, talking about like kind of circling back with like education, higher education, and you saying that you want to do like nonprofit, would you ever merge, your love for education and music to do something like?
Yeah, I would say absolutely. I think the first thing would be like starting a scholarship fund. That's probably one of the first things. But in terms of like teaching music to youth or, anyone who's interested, I don't feel like I currently have the knowledge or proper like experience to do something like that. So that's something that, I would have to first do before I can even say like, yeah, come and learn how to sing from me. Like I've had people ask me and I'm just like, I don't know how to teach you how to sing. I really don't know. I'm sorry. Like, But I think to maybe manage a program and then get the right people who can, then something like that would be awesome for sure. I want to get more into learning about producing, because it would be dope to be able to produce and write my own music without having to, I don't like how it's going to sound, but like depend on other people to like write music and send it to me, you know? But I want to be as much as part of that process as I can.
Right.
Yeah.
Two things from that. So the first thing that you were saying, that you would find somebody, like if you would have a program like that.
Mm-hmm.
The what I think about is there's this thing called the mastermind, where the master person had they have these think tanks with a one person and other, I guess, scholars or whatever, and they work together for this one goal. And the mastermind person may not know how to do every single job in the project, but because they are the mastermind, they know other people's strengths for the job to be done.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
That definitely sounds like what it would be.
Right?
Until I learn myself.
Until you learn, exactly.
No, but I mean, I think it, we always say it, but it takes a village to get something.
Yes,
like it's never
absolutely.
done alone. So that's why I always try to emphasize, like, I don't do this music alone. Like, yeah, of course, I'm at the forefront. Like, that's what people see, the singing. Like, they assume it's just me, but it wouldn't be possible without my band. It wouldn't be possible without the label supporting, putting the word out. Anyone, just by sharing, like, it, we wouldn't be able to do it. So,
yeah. It takes a village, right? Like, you got people to share and to do all that good stuff. I got
people, they got people, we got people.
You got friends, I got friends.
We're gonna start rapping. Nah.
But I think that's what is pushing you forward and really getting you to where you're going, because you know the value of people, the value of team, the value of what it takes to get where you're going. Because if you have this mentality of me, I mean, you can only do so much for yourself, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So I think that's why.
Thank you.
Your career is moving quickly and it's going great.
It feels like it's insane.
It sounds
time is passing by, but I mean, I think the one thing about me is that when I set like a vision or a goal for myself, I don't stop. And it's not to be like, I need to get it done. Like, no.
What sign are you?
I'm a Sagittarius. We're fire over here.
Dang.
We're the adventurers.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I want to make it happen, because not only for myself, but for the people that I'm bringing on with me. But it also goes to show other folks who are questioning themselves and being able to do something like that. It doesn't have to be the same thing, but just like seeing someone, as a Latina, being young and doing something like this, it can be inspiring for folks, So not
Absolutely.
that I'm trying to be like an idol or anything, but I think, we need to support each other through that journey, regardless of how far you get.
Right.
So.
Because this industry it's hard. It's not only like being an independent artist or being with the label. Even, I mean, we all struggle with the same thing. And the entertainment business is very hard to tap into. But if we're all tapping in to that all together and helping each other grow, nobody can fucking stop us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I agree. You guys are right. Let's do it.
Where we're going? What are we gonna?
What's next?
What's next for you? Like in your goals? Like what do you plan? What's your plans?
What's my 5-year plan?
What's your 5-year plan, Maria?
I mean, I want to keep releasing new music. So my band and I are working like on a new album, an LP. In hopes to release it like on, of course, an actual vinyl record. We have like 8 or 9 new songs already written, some of which we've already started performing.
Nice.
And heard. Quédate Conmigo is obviously one of them. apart from that, I would love to go tour like in Japan, Sweden, go visit because I do have listeners out there, and that's
Really?
so awesome to see.
Wow. That's cool.
I think most of that came from the Sweden label. Shout out to Nick from Soul Tune Records, because that's branching out into a different community. So would love to do that. Just do a tour run as well in the U.S. I mean, that'd be pretty dope too, you know, to go beyond just L.A. I mean, we've gone to San Diego. We recently went to San Jose, but I think we can definitely branch out farther than that. Yeah.
Wow. Tell me your song that I say it for me, please.
Quédate Conmigo?
Yes. Okay. So that one. She has a awesome video on YouTube, and it's like one of my favorite music videos right now.
Thank you.
And so tell me like how that came out, like what you did it for. Maybe the day of. I heard a little bit listening to Chicano Shuffle's podcast, and Esteban talking about how it was like rainy that day, and
it was a journey.
Yeah. So tell me, I want to hear it from you how that day was for you.
Yeah. So I think first and foremost, we need to give a shout out to the location. So Tierra Mia Plants & Co. in Thousand Oaks. Shout out to Ty and her sister. They allowed us to do our NPR contest submission video there. And that's almost 2 months ago now. So on the 9th, it'll be 2 months that we released it. But it was raining that day. And in our head, so initially we were supposed to do our video and then do kind of like a set for the community right after.
Oh, really?
That was not going to happen.
Yeah.
Reality check takes more than 2 hours, you know? So, so we got there like around maybe 5 or 6. This is in Thousand Oaks, so it's a bit of a drive for some of us. But we got there, we started setting up. We had 2 individuals who came out and shot the video for us, which were friends of Jacob. And it was like a journey for sure. Like we had to test out everything before, of course, starting to record. As you'll see, kind of the desk that we use had like everything plugged in. And then Jacob, my keyboardist, brought his amp, which is on the corner, and it doesn't come out in the video, but it's like this super vintage amp. And that's how we were getting our sound. And so we took a couple takes because it was between this song and another new song that we're going to eventually release. That's called Do You Love Me or Love Me Not? And so we took a couple takes of each one, but it started raining really, really bad towards the end, like bad. And it was windy that water started coming in through the bottom, and we were tripping out. Yeah. We were like, what the hell? Like, where's this coming from? And eventually we seen that it was starting to flood in, and we're like, oh shit, like obviously everything's plugged in. Like, whoa, that's a disaster right there, you know? So we had already finished recording the actual song. So the last things that we needed to do was to record the intro of like me saying, hey, my name is Maria Sanchez. Like, what's this
So that was
for?
at the end. So that happened at the end.
Yeah, so we were like, all right, like, let's hurry up and, like, do this. So we did the shots, like, super quick, and we started unpacking everything. And that day, we broke so many plants. We felt so bad. Like, oh, my gosh, we could never repay her. But, you know, we tried to support. We gave some money, of course. And we shopped around because it is a beautiful shop. But, yeah, it was a wild day. And then eventually, all of us had to, you know, drive back home, and it was still raining, so it was a journey, but I think it was a beautiful moment that we all got to experience together. And obviously now we have this video to remember that of, and the story behind it. Yeah.
I didn't even know that NPR had something like that.
No way. Yeah.
No.
I feel like it's really well known.
I know the like the final like video products are out there, but I didn't know that they had like a submission process for that. That's way cool. Yeah.
Yeah. They said they had like
Amber, you know about this?
Yeah.
Submissions. Hey, you're not keeping up.
You don't ask.
Today's the day to learn.
It's always a day to learn, ladies and gentlemen.
It's because he underestimates how cool I am sometimes.
No, I don't. I know you're cool.
I'm just kidding.
I know it. It's just reinforced every day.
There you go.
Thanks.
But
every podcast episode.
Yeah, they choose like a winner, and they end up going like on a little mini tour. So they haven't announced the winner yet. So if you can engage with the video, go like it.
Yes,
when
of course.
do they announce it?
I'm not sure. I want to say it's probably within the next month because they've been spotlighting like certain videos as the judges are kind of reviewing them because there was a lot of submissions. So
yeah. I wonder how much they get. Thousands probably, huh?
No, yeah, I think they said it. It was like a couple thousand, and they have like maybe 6 judges or something like
Whoa.
that. Yeah.
Amber and I were going through the hashtags for this year, and some of them, they weren't very good.
Come on, don't say that. He's all yours.
Sorry. No, not even. No, I'm serious. Come on.
I think.
Right, Amber?
No, I think.
Oh, you're going to make me look like the jerk? You're going to make me look like the jerk?
No, I think that some folks are stepping out of their comfort zone when they do this. And I think we need to be mindful of that. Okay. That like, for some folks. No, and I'm not saying like, check. We about to check him. No.
Check me.
No. I think the way to see it is that some folks, it's like for them, it's a big step to record themselves and put it out there.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
And so I think that's maybe what we
check
see a
me.
lot of.
You're checking me right now. Okay.
Respectfully, though, right?
Okay.
We talked about respectfully checking, and it's okay to do that.
Sweet.
But there's a lot of talent out there, and it's sad to say that not all of that talent will be discovered.
I think exactly, and I think I will. The music was great. It was like some of them were great, but just there was certain things that maybe they didn't think about for the video. Like visually, they looked great. The music was awesome, but there was just like certain things that weren't really taken into consideration for something like this. Maybe. I wouldn't say that whatever I retract what I said before.
You've already been forgiven.
I think what he's trying to say, and I mean, we have to kind of be a little realistic sometimes, right? Yeah. But like your guys' video was very put together. It was thought out. You know what I mean? Like
exactly, the was details were thought out. Exactly.
So we tried.
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah, thank you.
It looked really good.
But I do understand what you're saying. Yes, absolutely. But I think the reason that could be is that it's not clear what exactly you need to do. Like it just says have these 3 components and then you're set. Like, you know? Okay. So maybe for them it's like, and I think they even advertise it. They're like, you have a desk, you can sing, you play an instrument, do it.
Oh, okay.
So of course, like folks are gonna enter, you know, and it should be like that. It should be open to everyone. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, because I mean it's true because not everybody has a whole production company behind them, and what if they're very good singers but not captured the same? Yeah,
and that's what sucks. That's why I was thinking. I'm like, that sucks because you can be this great artist but not have accessibility to audio production or to video production, or maybe even not know how to navigate yourself through that. However, you can be the best artist in the world, but if you don't have access to anything like that, then that really sucks. That hurts. That hurts me because I'm pretty sure that over the years, all the way up until now, there's probably have been certain people that have been into that situation, and that sucks.
They've highlighted a couple of entries where they said that they've entered 5 times.
Really?
Yeah. So, and I'm sure in each time they've developed in their presence and how they submit it. But I think that goes to show, like, don't give up.
Yeah.
You never know. I think that the one that they spotlighted who had entered 5 times, they eventually gave her own NPR episode.
Whoa.
Of actually going on Tiny Desk and performing. Yeah.
Really?
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, never fucking give up. Just keep going.
You heard it. Yeah. No, but I agree. Like, again, it goes back to like not caring what other people's opinion is, because not everyone's gonna like the same sound, not everyone's gonna have the same interest, but someone out there will enjoy listening.
Yeah, because art and music and anything creative is very subjective. Like there's an audience for everything, and as we're moving towards this I don't even know how to put into words, but like we're heading into this this type of era where there's an audience for every single thing, right? And maybe it wasn't an audience, 10 years ago or maybe even 5 years ago, but now it's happening. Now there's an audience for that.
Yeah, and that's why they say like sometimes it just takes time. You for some people you blow up overnight. For others it takes 10 years or even more, So
yeah.
For you, like I always think like with musicians, right? And I never get to ask this question, but I always think about it. Do you think that like making music and performing and things like that, do you think you'll be doing this forever? Or because you have like, education behind you, like is it, do you have to, or do you see yourself choosing one or the other, or how would you kind of go through that?
That's a beautiful question, Amber. Thank you. For me personally, I would say I'm going to be doing both till the very end, in some capacity. But I would say the focus is music. I've always expressed that I always wanted to get my education out of the way prior to really diving into music, because we know how difficult the music industry is. It is never guaranteed. Again, as good as you can be, it is never guaranteed. So for me, it was really critical to have something in a sense to fall back on, and something that I was still passionate about. And that was for me education. So I still, of course, want to work in education to some capacity, probably not as hands-on, like, meeting with students eventually, more behind the scenes. But yeah, I would say music would be the focus or the primary, journey to continue on.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful answer.
We all have beautiful answers tonight.
No, it's just something I always think about, right? Because it's like, as an artist or like you as a singer, your tool, your craft is your voice, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, until when does your voice, go or make money for you or make this and that? So that's always something I always think of, because I always think of myself too. I'm like,
I mean, that's the vision. I mean, something could happen, and I hope that nothing does happen.
Wood, no.
Yes, I want everyone knock for me. Knock at home, please. No. But
if you're driving, knock on.
But that's the reality. It's like we can have a vision for ourselves, but things can be different for us, unfortunately. And I hope that's not the case. But
yeah.
I like that.
That means you have to do things now, right?
Yeah, I'm going all in. Trust. Like, I feel like I'm constantly doing something every day, and unfortunately, I guess the result of that is that sometimes I text back like 2 days later.
When that happens and you find yourself in, you know what, let me chill, what do you do? Like, how do you unwind? How does Maria Sanchez unwind from her night and day life?
I'm very big on that. I am very big on self-care because one is I work with students and faculty. So it is important for me to be there 100% to be able to service those students and, those folks, because they're looking at me to support them through their own journey. So I definitely take self-care days. Like, I've taken time off work, like a day or an extra day towards the weekend, just to make sure that I'm just taking care of me, whether that means, sleeping in a little. Of course, my candles, got to have our candles on. Listening to music 24/7, because I literally do any minute I can. Taking myself out to a little, boba day, hanging out with close friends, because I think that personal time sometime also re-energizes. And singing always helps too. I mean, sometimes when I need an escape for that, it's just writing music. Yeah.
So even when you're unwinding, you still find a way to be creative.
We gotta be.
Yeah. No, that happens too, because like even me, like if I'm just, I don't know, like, and Amber will say this too, like I can't, don't get me wrong, I watched a dumb movie this morning. We didn't work today, like I was talking, I didn't work today. I watched one dumb movie, and then after that I was like, I feel good. Like after working like 80 hours in the week and then doing this and producing stuff and then writing. We just did our first event over the weekend, and thank you. And just from all that, I just needed that. And having like 5 hours of sleep, every day for the past couple of weeks. Yeah. And having just that 2 hour of dumb movie, I felt so energized and so inspired.
Yeah.
Right, Amber?
Yeah, I think.
But you need it.
Yeah,
you need it.
Sometimes you need to check yourself, because I know I check them all the time. Where I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm tired. Because I mean, we him and I are a team, and we do things together all the time, but we both have our limits of where our body can take us or where our mind can take us. And sometimes I need to be like, no. Like today after the dumb movie, it was a really dumb movie. And I told him, I was like,
Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe is not dumb. I'm sorry I said it dumb. Mike Judge, I am sorry.
It's not dumb, but it's a little bit silly.
There you go.
So after I was like, I gotta find something to stimulate my brain. No, but I think we just have to really take care of ourselves and hone in on what our body and mind is saying all the time, because we can be on this go, and it's fun. It's really fun to do things, to create things, to service our community, to meet you guys and things like that. But it's also like, where do we stand? Where do we? And I think that a lot of times we glaze over that, right? Because we're so busy trying to see what the next thing is that we forget.
Yeah, you have to stop and take inventory of your body, and you have to take inventory of where your mind is and where your mindset is. Where's your environment? Like, how's your environment? How's your space?
Well, I think that's another thing, that it's important to have like your very niche community of support. And for you, I think that's Amber, and vice versa. And like for me, I definitely have a very close circle who like we check in with each other. And I think that's where we're respectively checking like each other. Like, hey, I literally have a friend who asked me, did you eat today? And I'm just like, I forgot. No. Like, I think it's important to have those really close people who care about you as much as you care about them, where it's just checking in. How was your day?
Yeah.
Like, just a simple text can make such a difference. And I think sometimes we take that for granted, and just checking in, like a little homie check-in,
Yeah. You posted something on your story the other day about drinking water, right?
Yup, sure did.
I seen that. I was like, Maria's putting me on check even before the podcast.
And you know what? A lot of people replied like, wow, I actually needed this. Like, you're right. Like, I haven't drank water today, because I myself will forget, because we're constantly on the run, So yeah, I'm here for your daily water check-ins.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Aside from being a musician, let me hydrate. What's I'm like, I know you're drinking water. Go for it. You're good. But what's a guilty pleasure that you have? What's something that you're like, I wouldn't say embarrassed to say or anything like that, right? Because you don't have to. But what's something that you really like to indulge in that sometimes you're like, oh, whether it be like a TV show or something,
a YouTube channel,
or
he's a podcast,
or a podcast network.
My grito in the streets. It's funny. For a good amount of years, like maybe 3 or 4, I was not watching any television at all. One, because I was just so busy with school. But I just didn't also have an interest. And so it wasn't until recently, maybe in the last year or so, I didn't even have a TV. That's how much, okay? That my brother gave me one of his old TVs, and now I watch Netflix. And so like I'll start watching like a certain show, and I will not start anything new until I finish that show. So like right now I'm wrapping up Girlfriends, which is super old school, but nice. I dive into like a certain series, and then that's, I guess, my indulging now. Like I went from no TV to now like Netflix. Yeah, it's crazy, but
how long ago was that?
Like 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amber, that has probably 4 years ago. Same for me too.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
When I first moved into this space, I had no TV, just a laptop, and now I have like 5 TVs.
Oh my God.
But my book collection has grown, and I'm a book nerd.
Yeah, we both like to read, so
Yeah.
that's definitely
You know
something.
what? I will say I miss that.
Yeah.
I really used to love reading, but grad school got me tired of it.
Did it?
It did.
Because it was all reading.
Yeah, it was
I
just too
bet.
much, you know? Like, however, my drummer did give me a book during Christmas. It was the biography of Etta James.
Ooh.
It was a phenomenal book. I learned a lot about her.
Ooh.
And then I'm letting my girl Jazz borrow it right now. I hope she's reading it. So I really dig that because it's very personal and it's music related.
Yeah.
So I'm learning about artists that I have an interest in as well. You know, rest in peace. But I don't know about what else to read now because before I think it used to be like fiction and stuff. Yeah.
We all need friends like that. We all need friends to
Give us books.
give us books.
Yeah, shout out to Rob.
Or we just need to be the
Sweethearts.
friends that give books.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly. Okay.
Next time I come, I'll bring you.
We need a hold on. We need to put the shelf right there.
Yeah, so that we could just give away the book.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah, because I love books and I love giving away books
Don't
too.
do a giveaway. Maybe do a borrowing where they
Like a
bring a
swap?
book. Yes, and you give a book.
Huh. Maybe we could put that on the form.
You bring, they're gonna go insane like last minute. Like, oh snap, I need to go buy a book.
I forgot.
I know.
It's like, what do I have? 5 copies of?
They're like, does
this
newspaper
thing.
count?
You should listen to since you're kind of on the topic of like biographies and stuff. We listen to because we do a lot of audiobooks now because we're
driving. We
we
drive a lot.
commute, you know, daily.
Mhm.
So we put a book on and then we're like in our thoughts. But we did Mackenzie Phillips. So she's the daughter of what was her dad's name? Michael? John Phillips?
John Phillips.
Or Michael Phillips. One of those.
No,
But anyway-
Michael Phillips is
Oh,
the
Michael Phillips
swimmer.
is the swimmer. No, that's
Michael Phelps.
Oh, okay.
See, you're trying to school me. Yeah, right.
Damn, he was confident too.
We all need confidence like you.
That's right.
No.
Hey, he's like, don't quote me on that, but
No, it is Michael Phillips. Well, anyways, from the Mamas and the Papas. So the band.
It's a really good book.
Yeah, so it's his
Oh my
daughter,
gosh.
and it's amazing. She talks about a lot of other artists which were in the scenes like around the time that her parents were. She talks about like you know, just traumas, things that she went through as an artist, and it's such a good book. Like when it was over, we were like, damn it,
Yeah.
it's really good. Well,
Yeah, we've tried to jump into like other audiobooks, but that one it's hard to come back to and choose something as so intricate and fascinating because we both are very interested in music, and even the time frame to where she was growing up and the Mamas and the Papas were very popular in the late 60s and it was just an insight to an artist and then an artist, you know, family member, daughter, and it was good. It's really good, really good piece of history, a piece of rock and roll history.
yeah, send me the link. I'll check it out.
yeah, you should.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It is wild. It's wild. She was like doing like LSD or something like that at the age of like 12 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, and her dad used to, you know, get from this one part about that her dad. She said that her dad didn't really get upset with her. The only time that he really did get upset is when she took this prized LSD or this prized like acid tab that he was waiting for to take at like a good time and yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, it talks about just trauma and the way that she copes and music, and it's not for everyone, right? If it because there are a lot of triggers in there,
Yes.
especially if it's you know something that someone's been through or you know. But I mean, if you can listen to it,
Yeah.
we definitely recommend
It was very triggering for me, and I didn't like. I have to go back and think about that because I was gonna write a bit about it, but yeah, it was interesting. It was very interesting.
I mean, just hearing, folks' personal experiences, you can feel that.
Yeah.
Especially if you're an empath. Like I myself am an empath. So even if you personally have not been exposed to something like that or experienced it, just listening to it and how it's impacted that person, you can feel it. So
how do you think that, I mean, kind of piggybacking off of that, because I always feel like, or maybe because like Gill said, like him and I, we're very into, very much so like rock and roll, 60s, 70s, things like that. And obviously that era was, the music industry and the people in it and everything was centered around drugs and alcohol and things like that. And like how, I don't want to say like how do you stray away from it, because I don't know if you do, but if you do,
I've seen her with nothing but water every time I've seen Maria.
I'm on next question. No, yeah. Thank you for asking that.
Like how hard is that, right? Like to not fall into maybe, or get into a scene like that or things like that. Like mentality wise, where are you when you do come across things like that? Or
yeah, I would say I have a lot of, what would they call it, willpower, where like I've been offered stuff and I'm just like, no, like I'm good, thank you, like I'm all, you do your thing, like I'm not here to judge. When it comes to like close friends and family, of course I'm gonna put my 2 cents about like, do you really want to do this? Like maybe let's take a step back and think about this, but for me personally, I can simply just say no. Like I'm never peer pressured. And again, I think that comes back to me being very direct and straight up. Like I have no problem speaking up for myself or even for others if I can see folks are in uncomfortable situations. I only drink beer occasionally, or mostly water. But I don't do anything else. Like cannabis, I'm not interested, never smoked. I've been around it my whole life, siblings and all that, but no. Yeah.
It's willpower. If you want something, and if you don't want something, like you're able to do it. I mean,
but I also understand how difficult it can be to say no for some folks. And
absolutely.
I just hope that if they're ever in a situation like that, they're able to stop, think, and just be like, no,
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Yeah, you got to take inventory again, right? What purpose is this gonna serve me?
He's like, the takeaway of this episode, take inventory.
Yeah. Count. No, but I'm serious, right? I mean, that's what I think about when I've come into certain situations like that. It's like, how is this going to better me? Or how is this going to make me feel in the next couple of hours? Because sometimes when that happens to a certain person, they're just thinking about that exact moment, which is fine. Like living in the moment is fine, but
they're literally like YOLO.
Yes, no, and that's what happens. It's like, okay, you know what? Fuck it, whatever. Whatever happens, happens. But you got to plan it out.
Yeah,
you just have to have a plan for certain things. I think that's a part of growing as a person, at least. From that certain type of situation.
But even I can see too, like pressure, right? Because I feel like for myself, like recently, within maybe the past year and a half, I stopped like even drinking, anything, and for a long time I felt guilty too because. I, especially like within my relationship where I was like, oh, I used to be fun. Like, I promise you, I used to be fun, because for me, fun Amber was when I drank. Fun Amber was when, but then also there were all these other Ambers that I didn't like and didn't serve me a purpose. And I think that's something that I've struggled with recently in the past months is letting go of that person or that side of me and not feeling guilty for the decisions that I'm making now, and I think it all comes with growth too. So I mean, I can only see how, someone in the industry maybe not participating in certain things that, we think as outsiders that happen. Like I can see there being guilt or, or even wanting to fit in and things like that. So yeah, that's
Well, I appreciate you sharing that because I know that's very personal, and I'm sure someone listening might even resonate with that. So, yes, I feel like you can always change your patterns. It may be difficult. It may take time, but I think it's definitely doable if you make that decision to make the change.
Yeah, I think so. And it takes a lot. It really does. But, you get to a point where you outweigh what works for you, what serves you, and who you want to be at that moment too. And I'm not going to say if you guys see me with a beer and be like, I thought you didn't drink. No, no, but.
She's taking down a beer bong after the podcast.
She's like, today's Thirsty Thursday.
I'm like, and our shots after this.
Michelada Monday.
No, but it's, it's just something that I've come to terms with for myself. And it's always interesting to hear other perspectives and things.
But it's also an excess too, like, because you're able to just maybe, I don't know, because there, like you said, there are some folks out there that do maybe just struggle with one or two, because one time you can have just one, but that situation doesn't, carry over to somebody that just can't have one.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think it goes back to like, what were they exposed to?
Exactly.
What did they see growing up? And I know it all comes a lot with generational trauma, unfortunately. And sometimes it's up to us to break those cycles. Like, we have to be the one to make sure that, you're showing or leading by example by saying like, yes, you might initially start that way because of, the way that your family exposed you to that. But like, you can make that decision to not follow that path.
Yeah, like people would say, like, oh, that's all I know. It's the only thing I know, and yes, that's valid. But it's also, it doesn't have to define you as a person for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, they've already identified that as this is all I know. But I mean, maybe they just need to be encouraged to, think maybe that's not all I am.
Do you think that some of your music, or not do you think, I'm sure you know, but is some of your music like what goes behind your music, like behind your songs? Are they always uplifting, or are they, or is it just like a mixture of like heartbreak and uplift and things like that? Because I know, certain people do songs with certain intentions, right? Or try to capture like certain messages. Are yours just tailored to one thing, or is it just kind of an array of intentions in there?
Yeah, it's definitely open. And I think it's open to interpretation and to some extent as well. A lot of them, of course, are about love, relationships. But I think in different aspects when it comes to the relationship. For one of the songs, it's talking about, I think you thinking about yourself and how much you value yourself and what's not working in this relationship, to make that move and say, unfortunately, I'm going to cut you off and we can no longer continue. Like, you're not that they're not servicing you or they're not serving a purpose, but like, you're not reciprocating the same love, time, and energy. So it's time to go. So that's one component. But then there's another one that's embracing the good part of a relationship, like that this person does love me, that this person is genuine in our relationship. So I think it highlights different aspects of relationships. And then I have like another song, Sensation, which I don't think it's a lot of love. And maybe that's on me, because at first I really didn't, I wouldn't say I didn't like the song, but it wasn't my favorite, because it was supposed to be another song instead of Sensation.
How many times does that happen? Starting one song and it changing like midway before finishing. Does that happen a lot to you?
It's only happened once, and it wasn't a decision on my end, really. I feel like it was a little bit influenced on the label side, because of the song that was supposed to be released with Dynamite was a little bit political at the time.
Oh.
Eventually,
really?
I would still kind of want to release it, but Sensation came to be, and that one's talking about like empowerment, like believing in yourself, taking that step to really achieve what you have in mind. Like, you yourself are the only one who's going to hold you back ultimately. Yes, there's going to be obstacles in place, but you ultimately have the power to overcome those obstacles if you choose to. So
nice.
What do you have coming up? What are you currently working on right now?
So right now,
any collaborations coming up?
I don't know if they're coming out this year. No. Actually, I do have a new song called "Oh Your Love" that's going to be releasing on an album from Soulful Records, so the Sweden label. It's a compilation of various artists. I really, really love the song. Like, I think it's my best work that will be out as of yet. We're already going to start performing that one live as well. So if you see us on Friday or Saturday, you'll definitely hear it. Oh, give me one second. It's not on this one, but yes, we released this limited edition 45 with Soulful Records and Magrito Industries. And this artwork was done by my good friend, Dead Format. Absolutely phenomenal work.
I really like it.
I like the artwork.
Yeah, it's a little sad girl vibes, you know. The colors pop, you know.
Yeah, I really like it.
And we're getting T-shirts designed with this specifically.
Ooh.
And the lettering from Maria Sanchez. So I'm actually supposed to pick them up this Thursday or Friday, so before the festival. So I'm excited for
nice.
that. But in terms of what else we got going on, we're working on new material. I'm hoping to eventually release some collaborations with Harless Sweetwater, who's also on the label.
Oh, nice.
Profesor Galactico. We got another soul artist named Carlton J. Smith. He's also really awesome, and he'll be on the same compilation as me. Yeah, I think that's it about now until, other folks reach out to me. But
reach out.
Yeah, I love collaborating, as I will say, though, I really have to feel the sound and feel like the music to be able to work with someone. And that's not me saying like, oh, like I don't dig this. It's just not my style, unfortunately, Yeah. So we got that going on. Hopefully more shows. Again, this Friday we're performing at the LA County Fair, and then Saturday we'll be in Torrance for a So Far Sound Secret show. So super intimate setting where they don't release the address until like 36 hours before the show. So that's super cool.
Whoa,
that's cool.
That's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Really?
We're excited for that one because it'll be a little bit more intimate and stripped down.
That is super cool.
That's really cool.
And they allow you to bring in alcohol and all.
What?
Yeah.
Your own alcohol?
Dang.
Yeah.
BYOB?
No, it literally says
What?
BYOB.
Does it really?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's because like some of these settings are in folks' like houses, like their backyards and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool. This is the first time, so.
All right, let's talk about this after because I have an idea. Okay.
Oh. She's a hold up.
I'm like, wait.
But,
That's cool. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what else you have coming up and just to see you grow. I think it's amazing. Like, honestly, like Gill said at the beginning, like if you wouldn't have told us that you just started, like, not even a year, right? Like,
No.
and all that you've accomplished so far, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank you,
excited.
thank
I'm
you.
excited to see your journey and
I appreciate
part of
that.
it.
And it does mean a lot for you to even take the time to listen and to, invite me as a guest. Hopefully, Magrito did not peer pressure you.
no,
I'm all
Absolutely.
Robin Oscar.
No.
But no, it does mean a lot because this is obviously you are now part of my journey to becoming more of what I want to be. Hopefully, eventually, I'll still release some like music videos. That's also a pretty cool goal, and maybe we'll just have some spotlights from the Magrito family, and as some of the actors.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Because I've been waiting.
He's like, this is my moment to shine.
Yeah.
I'll put my hand in there or something. I like to stay in the back.
She'll be the one at the counter waiting for her drink.
There you go.
There you go. Put me in, Maria. I'm ready.
Maria, thanks for coming out and
Thank
doing the
you.
podcast. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your time and love seeing you grow. So go ahead and tell us where we can find you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so on Instagram, I'm at groovy_ms. We're steadily, coming up there. I also have a website, groovyms.com, where folks can purchase their limited edition 45. Eventually, I'll be releasing the new shirts on there as well. And my YouTube, I have 2 YouTubes, one for more, official releases, and then one more so for covers that I do. Linktree, yes, access to everything, booking, tickets to shows, playlist. I love to engage with my listeners and, let them know what I'm listening to and maybe put them on some music as well. But I think that's it for now. But don't be shy to say hi. What up?
Go check out her NPR Tiny Desk submission.
Yes, please do.
It's immaculate.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm really proud of that. It was a very special project.
Really cool. Like the aesthetics inside the...
I saw Tierra Mianco Ty on the directing of the plants and everything.
So can people still like vote and stuff like that for you?
Yeah, so it wasn't like a voting system, just by engaging with the video, liking, commenting.
Yeah, I'll put the link down to the video or to the post or to the video?
To the video on YouTube.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll put the link down in the show description so we can go ahead and do that. And yeah, exactly. And all the links to Maria Sanchez's work will be down in the show description, and that's about it.
Yeah, much love to everyone tuning in and the Mind Buzz. Gill and Amber, thank you again for having us. And My Grito Industries for connecting us.
Yeah. The Mind Buzz. Peace and love. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.